All right, all right, all right. Welcome to another episode of Agency Intelligence Podcast, where I give you that real agency intelligence. As you remember, this is the executive sessions, and here we are at Applied in Las Vegas. Today is October 6th, I believe is what it is. October 7th is what it is. I am here with a good friend of mine, somebody that we've known for a long time, very, very big and instrumental in my life, and the fact that I used to go to some of his events back in the day. Also, by going to those events, I met wonderful people like Rick Morgan and Chris Amrine and tons of other people that I'm probably leaving some names out, Peter, but those people have been instrumental in my life. They really have in my insurance career. And so because I went to your event, that means that you're the catalyst for that. So, we're going to talk just like we have at the executive sessions. Remember, we're doing this to humanize the executives, letting people know and understand that they're humans just like us and they need to be understood. I've always said this, and you've probably heard this if I said it. I realize I walk away from these executives a lot of times where I'm talking to them and I think to myself, man, I wish other people knew them the way that I do. And that's the point of these executive sessions, is to humanize them. So we'll get started. Peter, thanks very much, man, for joining me. I'm so glad that you chose to do this.
Thanks, Jason. Great to be here, man. And we're 4,200 of our closest friends, right?
4,200
Applied in Las Vegas here.
Closest friends. You know what? We won't go on too long, but Applied does it right, don't they?
Oh, they do it right.
I'm not down on anybody else. No. I'm just talking about them, and they do it right.
It's very tribal, this community. You see it too at Accelerate, the Vertifor conference, and others that I don't go to. They might be smaller, but it's the same independent agent energy you get, especially from the people who are slugging it out every day, the CSRs and the processors, right, that use the systems.
They're all here.
They come here and they're pumped, man.
Yeah. And what's amazing is how many new first timers there are. Taylor was talking about that. Peter and I just got out of a meeting with Taylor, and he was talking about how geopolitical things, the Canadian numbers were down and other numbers were down, but like their total numbers are up, which means it's a bunch of new people coming, which is fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely right.
Peter, these people don't know you like I know you. Don't go on and bore them. Just give them 30 seconds of who's Peter Van Aartrijk. How'd you get where you are? Why are you here?
I'm a former newspaper journalist. I got into insurance journalism at AM Best Company, and then over the years worked in PR roles at the III, the Insurance Information Institute, and the Big I, the National Association. And then I started my own firm in 1999 because I wanted to do things a little bit different in the insurance branding world. So it's been, I tell you what, Jason, I have a CIC. I think you're a CIC too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I have this insurance designation because I wanted to know more about the things I was talking about and writing about. I've never sold insurance. If I can go back in time, I'd be an independent agent because I think it's such a cool thing what they do. I know you're one too.
It is.
It's just a cool. So I'm not in the business, but I feel like I kind of am by osmosis.
Peter, we are pretty cool. I'm just going to tell you, we're pretty cool. So, Peter, we'll talk about that later. Let's go right into something that humanizes us. One of the questions that I'm getting from I'm asking, and I get good feedback from this from the listeners, is it's important how we live our life by mentors, such as, people can be to each other. And if you have, pick in your head one or two mentors in that you think of that were very instrumental in your life, and then bring it into one. Mm-hmm. And I want you to tell me why is it that one? And how have you used what that person may have taught you to better your business today?
Thank you. That's a great question, man. Over the years, I've had editors, who are teachers. So in other words, I got an English degree. I wanted to be a journalist. You can't make any friggin' money being a journalist. So that didn't last too long. I'll tell you that. But the editors kicked my ass. They over the years, and I'm talking insurance editors too at AM Best, National Underwriter. They really, I don't want to say, it made me feel very small, but in a very good way. I'm like, damn, I'm not as good as I thought I was,
Okay.
And in those days, man, we had paper. So you print out a piece of paper, your story, to give to them to edit, and they would obliterate it with black, thick felt pens like Sharpies. Obliterate the copy. This sentence sucks.
Wow.
So but they made me better, so they mentored me, and because I love the written word still. I think today, even though we're texting and we're doing things with video and podcasts, the written word still has some power, so
Mm-hmm.
so I may be a better writer, but the one mentor I can speak to, if I whittled this all down, is my dad, because he was an entrepreneur. I never even knew it growing up. He was an architect who worked alone and
Wow.
at home. Imagine this in the 70s and 80s, at home with a stand-up drafting table, and he would handcraft his work. He didn't have CAD design, no computer assisted design. It was all hand done. And he worked his ass off from like 6 in the morning, 6 at night. And I guess in 1999, 26 years ago, I started my own firm. And I think about my dad a lot. It's like he put the hours in and he handcrafted his work and he brought it every day. People loved what he did. And could he have put it all on automation? Sure. But he passed away before all that was possible, I guess. Maybe he would have. But he was old school, hardworking dude, the greatest generation, the whole war baby thing. And just like every time I think about him all the time. He passed away at the young age of 74. But it's like, that's so short answer, my dad.
I love that question because I can see it brings back those memories, right? It brings up truly the essence of who we are as people. And it's funny, a lot of the executives have said their dad, a couple have said their mothers. And so what he's taught you, how have you used that to build Aartrijk? I mean, what's that thing that he's helped you with?
Well, I think, so you've seen the show Mad Men with the classic Madison Avenue
Love it.
agency. It's a
Love
good show. They would go off and do things in a vacuum and come up with slogans like, Camel cigarettes, Camel, they're toasted, they're somehow good for you, that was, and I worked in New York City for like 10 years in the World Trade Center, and I worked at an ad agency that had insurance work.
Wow.
And that was the day when you did do that. You went off and did things. When I started in 99, I didn't realize it, but I wanted to be a different kind of firm that would, first of all, serve the insurance. 100% of our clients are insurance related, carriers, brokers, insurtechs, et cetera. And I wanted it to be collaborative. I wanted to work with clients to do better work. I wanted to work with smart insurance people like me who came out of the industry to do better work. And I wanted to be a kind of, if you call it leadership, I don't like to say people work for me. I work with them.
Yes.
I wanted to be a servant leader. I know that sounds really kind of hokey, but I'm telling you, I can see it in Taylor Rhodes, the CEO of Applied. You talked about Taylor. He understands culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to have 26 years we've been doing this. I think the lesson there is like work hard, but also think about people as people. Like they're not working for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's the two kinds of leaders, the ones that kick everybody's ass and they're kind of like assholes.
Mm-hmm.
They're smart as heck. You feel like you're going to work with them, learn something for them. They're going to mentor you. And then there's people who are smart as heck, but they're also really nice. I wanted to be that kind of leader, servant leader. And so we built the firm slowly over time. I think today we have 6 employees full time and then 16 consultants.
Mm-hmm.
Again, all from the insurance industry.
Yeah.
And it's like this cool culture, Jason. You're distributed workforce. We're distributed workforce. We don't really have a home office.
Mm-hmm.
And we started this in 99 before COVID, before everybody went working remote.
That's
so I think it's all about just showing up and serving others and helping them do their best work, not telling them what to do, but learning from them as well.
This industry is ever changing, and you've been doing it since 1999, 26 years. You're getting so old, you were doing it last century.
I was.
A long time joke, old joke. My son was born in 1999.
Yeah, guilty. I'm guilty as charged, man. I get it.
So with this evolving change of all this stuff, the World Trade Centers were still standing. We weren't even, I think I got my first cell phone in like 2001, right?
Yeah.
And now we're all the way we are today. How have you been able to navigate, especially in this industry where things seems like it went slow and now it's really going fast? How have you been able to keep the brand alive and stay relevant? And I want to preface one thing. Loyal listeners, if you're reading a IA magazine or a Rough Notes magazine or pretty much almost any kind of magazine, you're probably reading Peter Van Aartrijk's material or one of your writers or something like that. So just so you know, you'll be like, I have no idea who this guy is or whatever. You probably read a lot of this stuff. So, but going through the last 26 years, how have you stayed relevant, man? That's tough.
It is tough, especially as, you get your hair turns grayer and now it's completely white, So I get it. I'm the old white male pale and stale guy in the room. I get it, Jason. I'm that guy now. I'm the snowbird. I'm the geezer. I'm the guy you follow down the road in Florida who's got his hands on a wheel and a hat, and
It's true.
But I think one thing that's guided us are our core values, and also getting close to our clients and finding out what did they really care about, and sometimes they don't always know what they care about.
That's the truth.
So we're doing stuff on behalf of clients all the time. We get into the guts of the company and say, all right, where are the leaders here? Who has a friggin' opinion? You'd be amazed how many of our clients are afraid to have an opinion. And when you have an opinion, the media loves it. You can give talks. You can go to InsurTech Connect and give a talk if you have an opinion on something. So we run a vacuum cleaner over their brains, and we've been doing this since '99, of trying to extract like unique points of view. Mm-hmm. And then that feeds itself into everything, any kind of social expression you can imagine. And the trade media, you mentioned the trade media, but also social media, giving speeches, doing podcasts, doing videos, and just expressing. So we like storytelling. We like finding the truth. What are 3 things we're going to talk about this year? So that has not changed from the days, Jason, before we had cell phones in 1999, before there was social media, before there even was the internet, really. Mm-hmm. Well, all we had then was like email and phone.
That's right.
And then, we had the .com thing, and all this changes happened. I'm kind of excited about AI. I think it's going to really kick the marketing world's ass. Our world's going to get their asses kicked.
Very good.
And we have clients saying, hey, we'll just have AI do it. AI can write a blog, right? Well, yeah. But it's going to be a summation of every other blog out there. Is that a unique point of view? No.
I like what Ryan Hanley says. He says it doesn't have a soul. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have, you can't feel that.
You can spot it right away, too.
Mm-hmm. You really can. Besides the M dashes.
Yeah.
That's Tell you what, now you're a writer, right? But the M dash or dash, whatever it's called, I didn't even know that was a name.
It's an N dash and an M dash, yeah.
It has systematically changed the way I look at articles. I'll be reading an article and it's real good, and then I'll see that and I'll go, oh, did AI write this?
Yeah, yeah.
I believe we're going to be going into a world where we really don't care if AI wrote something or made a movie or did something. If we're there for the experience and for the storytelling, if it can have a soul and do it, we'd still like it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Let me ask you this. If we could give your younger self one piece of advice, okay, that are building a career, strategizing, what would you say back to your younger self, knowing what you know now?
I think I would probably enjoy the moments more. I think I enjoy the days more. I mean, I think I look back at my kids now, they're 35 and 30. The days seem really long, but the years short. Now, why was that? Because it was like
long, but the years short.
It was like a struggle. At the time, I'm like, why is everything so hard? Why is work hard? What am I doing? And I think at school, before that, even when I was at the university, it's like, I wasn't really paying attention to class. I'm pretty sure I'm ADD, and I had to, fight my way through that. I met a lot of people who were that way. I think I would just go back and say, listen, man, everything's going to be cool. A lot of stuff's going to happen. Most of it's going to be good stuff. Life's not a straight line. You got to enjoy all the curves, and slow down and just try to enjoy the moments more. Like, I know that's a cliche, Jason, but, I think with all the shit that's gone on in the world, with, all the tragedies and COVID and everything, it becomes even more important to slow down and have like conversation like this. Mm-hmm. To me, that's one thing I would say is just try to it's going to be okay. Chill out, just try to enjoy the social moments a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And not be thinking about the next thing. And I guess the other thing would be just the money part. If you enjoy what you do, it's not work, and the money will follow you. It may not seem like it at the time, but it's going to be okay. You're going to have plenty of money. You just got to enjoy your work, enjoy the people around you, and slow down.
Yeah. You will get to Treasure Island because you did. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And you and I know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
That. I mean,
right.
you know, it's like, hey, am I ever going to have enough money to live in Florida? Well, you will. Just chill out. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Let's flip this a little bit. Okay. So instead of you saying to your younger self, what would you say? What would your older self, 10, 15 years from now, what would it be saying to you? You know, Peter, you probably need to be looking at doing this. I think that's a way that people never really try to look at it. I read a book recently where they talked about instead of looking back and telling yourself what you would do, what would you put yourself in the future and say, what do I need to do today to get to where I want to be in 10 to 15 years? What would you say?
Man, that's a great question. And the timing of it's really good because I was thinking about bringing up a topic, which we haven't, I don't even know if I told you this outside of this recording, but
Okay.
sold the company in January. We have a new principal. I have a 4-year earnout.
I had no idea.
I'm not going anywhere. I love what I do. So when I first heard this question, I'm like, wait a minute, my older self's going to tell me to keep going since you like what you do. What would you do? What does retirement mean? I'll retire when I'm dead, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, my wife and I had this, she's been with me all 26 years. She retired from the company in December before the sale because she wanted to do something different. She comes up with this idea called seniorjoint.com, right?
Okay.
So when you think of, all we have is the URL. When you think of Senior Joint, what do you think of?
Like bad knees or
Yeah,
bad
right. That's what I
elbows or
think of.
something?
But people often say, you know, weed.
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought of that first, but I knew that that's where you weren't going. So yeah,
Right. No.
absolutely.
So, and it's also like coffee, like Spike Lee's Hangout, like a coffee joint. Like a joint to me is like a state of mind or a cool vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be all those things. And so this is a long way of saying my older self talking to me might say, you gotta do that. You gotta start that new company.
Yeah.
It doesn't compete because I have a non-compete with Aartrijk, what we do. But I'm going to be 67 in January, Jason. I'm like, man, like this, but I love what I do. Fairly healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So why not start something totally new? Because when weed is legal in the States, which is just a matter of time because they can tax it, we could have e-commerce, but we could also give advice on hip replacements, knee replacements, elbow replacements, because AI is gonna fix a lot of that stuff too.
AI.
And then we can have just information for older folks because that's who we are now. So
do you think there will be any new skills that you'll need to learn to be that guy in 10, 15 years?
Yeah, I that's what I worry about a lot is I need to learn some new things. We need to get, like, our firm needs to get younger. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get a little bit more diverse because our clients are that way. They're younger, they're more diverse. I think I need to up my game. Like, you've invested so much time in doing things online yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get smarter about technology. So I think I gotta invest some time. I can't just sit around and read novels. I love reading. I love golf. I play ice hockey. I swim, I run, I walk, I work on the computer. I'm always moving and doing things, but I think my brain needs some new things that I don't know what those are yet.
After I read the book, I challenged myself to say that I own companies in Latin America, but I don't know how to speak Spanish. After reading that book, I started taking Spanish lessons. That was about a year ago. So, and I encourage you listeners to think of the same thing. Quit beating yourself up if what I used to say back in the future, what I should have told myself a long time ago. Now, think about in the future. Who do you want to be then? And where do you need to start today to start working on those things? And Peter, you did a fantastic job. I really, 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 truly like you. Mm-hmm. Just anything that you pretty much want to add? I mean, as we kind of go through, as we've kind of said here, is there something that's popped into your head?
I think I'm excited about AI. I'm a little scared. I think Taylor said something about we're going from fear to FOMO about AI. I still have a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. I think when AI starts talking to AI, you know, that whole dystopian world could actually happen where humans are like marginalized by computers working outside of what we can even handle on them, you know. That's down the road a bit. But what I think is kind of cool about it is that, and I'm seeing it already because of the generational changes. There's 4 generations in the workforce. Gen Z are in their 20s. The millennials are in their 30s and mid 40s. And then you got Gen X mid 40s up to 60-ish or so. Mm-hmm. And then you got the boomers like me who are retiring in droves and so forth. This wave of new leadership that's required for carriers, brokers, insurtechs, et cetera. You're coming. I could spot them. They're here at this conference. You can spot them because if I had one place that I'd be worried about, if I was the CEO of a standard insurance carrier today, a classic Midwest insurance carrier, I'd be worried about what is the world going to look like for us? There's 2,000 of them. There's 2,000 P&C insurance carriers. We need some fresh leadership at that level too. Not just insurtechs, not just brokers and agents, but if they're going to play a role in the future, they need more transformational leadership, not just people doing transactions, underwriters, actuaries. As important as that work is to get things right with insurance, because you can go out of business quick if you screw it up. We need people who can transform the whole way they're doing things and embrace AI. So I think that's what I would say is are we up for that challenge? What do you think? I mean, is it?
Yeah. You're asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't buy into it. I don't buy into the hype. I don't. I know what it's like to work in an insurance agency. People are trying to tell me that they're going to be putting people out of business, all these administrative tasks and things. I don't buy it. Inside of an agency today, there are probably 40, 50, 60% of the things that are go on can't be done by a human because it has to be a human with a license. And so we all of a sudden just think that this AI is going to come in and start taking away things. And it's not necessarily true. Even when you listen to the CEO of DeepMind and Anthropic and Sam Altman, they're all saying it. Yeah, we may get there. I just read the book Empire of AI. Great book. You should read it. It's a very long book, but it's really great. Over 35% of people that work at OpenAI do not think that there will be human AI, AGI for the next 15 to 20 years. We're starting to learn also that LLMs have been a smokescreen in a way, or a false sense of where we're going. And the fact that all it's doing is predicting the next word. And so it's been allowed us to generate things, we've been able to finally see AI, and it's got our brain going crazy. But if you've already noticed, ChatGPT was not as good as ChatGPT 4 and it's starting to lose its steam. And the reason is that's not how we learn. Humans is it not ironic that when we call the computer, if it gets sick, it has a virus, right? It's very much like like us humans. We have determined that humans, it takes them about 18 years, probably longer for kids today, about 18 years, and they can be on their own. They have enough intelligence. They have enough things to do something on their own. Okay.
Right.
We think AI is different. AI has to learn by trial and error, and it has to learn by experience. And I'll give you a perfect example of this. The United States Air Force has these F-16 fighter jets and these F-35s, whatever they have, and they'll have like a swarm of these things around them now. I mean, they're almost as big as an aircraft, and they're running on AI. They're having so much trouble doing it because what they do is they think that they can put in all the information of what we've learned and how pilots fly and all this stuff. And they get up there and the pilots just beat the crap out of it. But here's what they found out. When they put two of them up together and they make them sit there and go against each other, they realize and they go, oh, well, that doesn't work. That does. That's trial and error.
Right.
When they're actually in it and they're experiencing it. And the guy that was on this show that I was watching, he said, it's going to take us 5 to 10 years of those things fighting each other before they're going to be able to beat our best. So what that told me is LLMs predicting the next word, while it may be amazing with audio and this stuff like that and written, it's not real life stuff. And the other thing is you have to be able, what it determines intelligence is you have to be able to put cross things. Okay. So if I tell you something that you don't know, but you're familiar with something else, you can learn that through intelligence because you can piece it together. That's very, very hard. You can't use predictiveness for that. You have to use experience in that. So I personally think, is there going to be a mass change in the way we work? Yes, I'm already seeing that in the way we work.
Right.
My people, we are open 5 days a week. Okay. 8:30 to 4:30. No one in my office works more than 28 hours a week full time. Why? Because they get a day off during the middle of the week and they only work 7 hours a day, 8:30 to 4:30. I did that because I was having to when I'm collapsing my efficiencies, I'm having to redeploy that into productivity. You and I talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
In until I get better as a business owner, there's only so much productive things I can do. So it got to the point, well, I don't want to lay people off, but why do we never assume that we should take efficiencies and always move them into productivity? Why don't we move them into having our people have a better life, having have more time, not walking out the door? So you got me really on something that I'm really big on right now. I don't buy it. I've done enough reading. I've read more about AI than probably, I'm going to be honest with you, than 1% of Americans, because I have businesses and it's scared me over the last couple of years. I'm like, whoa, am I investing in the wrong thing? And what's this going to look like? My boys work for me, and it's like, what's this look like? I'm not as scared as I was before.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's amazing what they're doing with Sora and video and all that. But that's not practical uses, right?
Yeah.
That's not practical uses for an everyday.
Right.
And then I also know that there's regulations and legislation that needs to be passed.
Consumer protection.
That takes forever. So I think everybody should slow down. To end what I'm saying, 10 years from now and going forward, I think it's going to be pretty wild.
Yeah.
I believe that there will be a national universal income, and I just truthfully, and as a Republican, I'm completely against that.
Yeah.
But I now see the future.
Yeah.
If Jason's making a 30% margin, okay, say I'm making a 30% margin, and I get rid of and I fire all these people, and in 10 to 15 years, I'm making an 80% margin. I think it's okay for the government to come to me and say, hey, listen, you decided to lay off all your people, and now we got all these people that are out there. So instead of making the 30% and the 80%, we're going to take around 20 to 30% of that. So you're still going to make 60%, Jason.
Yeah.
But we're going to take the rest of it and we're going to give it away. Now, that can be done through the government, but here's where I want to think. Why don't we do that as employers?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I say to the person, hey, I'm going to make another $300,000 a year by getting rid of you, but you know what? I'm going to give you 50,000 of that. And that's what you're going to get for the rest of your life. Right? Now that may seem wild and crazy, but what's more wild and crazy? That you make 30% versus 80%? One of my mentors told me one time, he said, Jason, you can only eat 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
And we need to remember that, because there's other people in this world that it is going to affect, but I believe it's up to us as a society to help each other.
Yeah.
Gosh, sorry, this is totally, I apologize for that.
It's a good rant, but it makes me think of a lot of things that, that I also believe.
Tell me.
And I think, work gives people purpose.
Yeah.
So if you were able to say, hey, listen, Sally, the CSR, or Bill, the producer, or Bill, the CSR, and Sally, the producer, you can just come in here and you're going to do some new things now, but you've got, 4 days a week to do what you want, and your salary is going to stay the same, or whatever
whatever it is.
However it works with the universal income. Work gives people purpose. If people are not working, that's one of the predictors of AI. People are not going to work like they are today, right? But work has people some people love work. I'm not talking about guys doing lug nuts on cars at the Ford factory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, although maybe they loved, I don't know.
Us. We love to work.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what could they channel that energy into more charity work? Hanging out with people who need socialization, which is elderly and homeless, and could they make the world a better place with this time they have, because they don't have to go to work, commute to work, by the way. That's a whole nother thing, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of them do that, all this time. But they have all this free time, but channel that energy into quote work that still gives them purpose. It's a really interesting future. And also one last thing. I think independent agents with all this time they have now can probably spend more time, with their customers, mm-hmm. finding out what's going on in their lives, really spend some quality time, find out how they can be more relevant to people. And also, by the way, make sure they have the right coverages, but also prevent losses. And if we can shift the insurance industry from just repairing and replacing stuff, which we do now, it's the policy, that's what we get paid, to more like predicting loss, preventing loss, like the risk management side, maybe it becomes more of a real thing that we can take some credit for. And the next generations will look at us and say, these guys are awesome. They're not evil people. Mm-hmm. They're actually really doing good things, mm-hmm. which we already know we do. Mm-hmm. It's a very existential conversation we're having right now.
Very much, very much. And I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I just believe that who's going to have a hard time? If I talk to a lot of the younger generation, they would say that work does not give them purpose, but it does for me and you, because we've been trained to believe that we trade an hour of our day for a certain amount of time, for a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
if you've never really driven through success, I don't know if we would have said work gives us purpose like we do now in our 20s. Because then, like you said earlier, it was a mess. It was hard. We're trying to do all this. If someone could have come to you back then and been like, hey, you can spend more time with your kids and here's $100,000, you'd been like, well, I don't know if I'm going to do that, right? But now it's like, I can't wait. So what I'm saying is, I don't think our generation can handle it. I think it's just the youngers that are going to have to deal with it.
Probably right about that.
And it's very tough, very tough. But anyways, Peter, I do appreciate you, on the, and
Back at you, man.
And what you should do is have me back on your podcast and we'll continue on.
I would love to.
Existential threat.
Let's do it. I think, that would be so cool. Wouldn't it?
We can just sit there
and
just spitball. And get crazy. Cause I have some crazy ideas.
You do. I know you do.
I've been reading a lot about AI and from all different things. And I think when you read and you, just like anything else, you educate yourself very deeply on something.
Oh yeah.
You can, don't get me wrong. There's still some parts of it that are scary, but I just don't believe that it's going to take us over like it does. So
thanks, pal. Thanks for that. I feel better now.
Yeah, I really do.
I appreciate it.
So
pleasure.
Pete, anything else you want to say?
No, just thanks for all you're doing, man. I think you're an opinion leader in the insurance industry, a thought leader. You're everywhere. I loved your conference. I love the name of your conference. I wish you all the best with everything you're doing, and let's rock on, man.
Fantastic. All right. We will. Thanks, Peter. And if you want to know, he was talking about Indie Tech. You can go to AIIndyTech.com. Please come out there. We have got probably around 40% of the tickets left. It's been really, really good. Brain shares sold out. All the speaking spots have been filled. It is I think we have a couple spots for vendors left. It has really been electric. Moving it out of the fall into
great time of year, man.
Oh, dude. That
time of year in Florida.
I lost my ASS last year, whenever the hurricane came through. So I'm very happy about that. So Peter, thank you once again.
Thank you.
Do appreciate it.
Jason, you're a good man.
Thank you. And all you loyal listeners out there, you know what I do. I do it for you. Tell me your thoughts and tell me your ideas. And I'm going to tell the world what you have to say. This has been Jason Cass. That's Peter Van Aartrijk. We're out.